dandy of a game, and let's see if her high-rise off-speed pitch is working.
Kyle will lead off for your Chargers, who are the visiting team here in Game 2. If Cypress wins, they will move on to the state playoffs. If Cypress loses, we will have 2 games today, and they will flip back over to the home team. Takes the off-speed pitch. I have a tall umpire, man. I can't even see the plate over the top of him in front of me. Corey's going to have to tell me where all these pitches are. Just off the plate. Garcia behind the plate, trying to frame them. Corey will give you the defense for the Bobcats in a second. Off the plate again.
So Fitzenberger, she's working with second team all-conference player behind the dish, Kauai Garcia.
3-1 count. On the corner, 3-2.
And Kyle was one of those players, normally she's going to lay one down, try to make the defense work. Yesterday, she had one big hit, and that was a double.
3-2. Slap shot into the alley, taken out of the air right there on a sweet play in center field.
And Sabrina Truesdale at first base. Malia Garcia, the Garcias are sisters at second base. Shortstop will be Mackenzie Lombard. And at third base, Macy Smith, the left side of that infield, first teamer and second teamer, all OEC.
Moda steps up, the home run leader for the Cypress Chargers.
In left field, Tasneem Kurdia, who made the first out. In center field was Kristen Ariogapita in center field, and in right field, Jenna Juarez.
Shot deep into the hole, base hit for Modis.
Good way for Michaela to start this ball game. She was struggling just a little bit yesterday. She was 0 for 4. It didn't really have a hard hit.
So Parmenter, who's playing right field for your Chargers, comes up. Another defensive specialist in the outfield for Brad Pickler. Not really talked about by a lot of people except my partner and I.
It's because we're homers, Mark.
That's true. We like people that can play defense. She's only got 2 errors this year in right field. Off speed down the middle. That's the one thing you liked about Fitzenruder yesterday, Corey. She would show you that pitch all day long, and Cypress could do nothing with it. But it foul. She throws it on the outside of the plate, and Carly can't catch up to it.
But she shows it at inopportune times if you're a batter. You're not expecting her to throw that pitch. I mean, a 1-0 count, you're not expecting anything to come right down the heart of the plate at that speed, and she'll throw it.
1-2, 1 out, runner at first. Off the plate. We'll keep you updated with all the other scores because all the teams that everybody thought would win day one won day one of the Super Regionals for the 3C2A. Foul tipped. Fitzenruder loved her pitch. Was hoping Garcia could hold on to it.
It was an effective drop ball. That pitch before was a curveball that didn't catch the outside part of the plate, but she's showing good command.
See if they can go with 2. Quick fielder's choice over there at second. Lombard just flips it over to Garcia to get the lead runner.
So Galaviz, 1 for 2 yesterday. Walked and also scored one of the 2 runs.
Two down. Top of the first. Off speed. Can I ask you about Fitzenruder? Does she throw a heavy ball? I sort of look at it as a heavy ball. I'm going to ask you because I know you know a little bit more about pitching than I do. Would you say it's a heavy ball?
I'd say heavy, dead ball.
Okay.
It's not something that we've seen explosives off the bat. So yeah, you can go that way.
Okay. Outfield's playing a little more shallow, Corey, than they did yesterday. We'll see if that hurts them against Cypress College. You know, that pitch is about as slow as I walk.
But again, it's a changeup that comes out, and that's the beautiful thing about when she's in the circle. Same delivery, same motion, but that change just comes off.
1-2. Over to short. Bobbled. Couldn't go anyplace. We're going to get an E6 on the play.
And that's not what you can have in a situation like this when you're already down one game to none in a 3-game series. You cannot give your opposite team a chance. And Tina Payne, you know, Mark, even though I don't think her batting average reflects just the quality hitter she is. Yesterday she was 1 for 3 and scored a run.
Well, what happened with Lombard, I think she was too quick to try and make the play at second base, which caused the error on that. We'll see if they can work their way out of that mistake here in the first. Taken for a strike. And the lady of the day is in the circle for the Cypress Chargers. And that's the on-deck circle I'm talking about. Hit the center, back on it, and easily going to get it as the air cost them nothing on that play. No runs on 1 hit, 1 error, and 2 left on base. Well, we've played a half inning to play. Cypress 0, the home team Bobcats getting ready to come to bat here on Sportsnet, USA.net. Lombard. Ariel Pachita is second, and then Garcia. So you've got shortstop, center fielder, and second base. The middle of the defense will lead it off for your Bobcats. The Bobcats in a must-win situation here on SportsNetUSA.net. And, of course, Corey Neyland has already brought up all OEC and some of the people that are second players. So in between innings, we're going to get a little to the state team because we haven't really talked about that. Both of us had problems with how people got picked and why one team seemed to get the majority.
We're going to say, well, let's not say problems. Let's say
difficulties.
Questions.
Okay.
We have questions about just how it's picked, and I think we know how
it's picked. Yeah.
About that. And it's just interesting on the criteria because there's a couple teams that made the NFCA All-American team that if you're looking at where the team finished, it doesn't quite compute and place where that they should be on the team, if you get my drift.
Yeah, so you're saying we're inquisitive minds?
Yes.
Is that what it is?
I like that.
Like most of our listeners that listen to us three when we're on the air, inquisitive minds. What'd they say? Who are they talking about?
Yeah. And one of those players that we're going to bring up later is in the circle.
For whom?
For Cypress.
Oh, okay.
Miss Haley Tucker. 31 wins, 7 losses. Leads the state in wins by far, by more than 5.
We had a large discussion about that last night, didn't we?
Yes. And how she did not make. I'm going to get started right now.
Yeah, we'll get after that at the end of this inning. Lombard to start things off, playing shortstop for the Bobcats. Tucker looking sweet yesterday. Tina Payne behind the plate, Winya at first. Maldonado at second, Modis at short, Galaviz at third. Traditional infield so far this season for your Chargers. Lopez at left, the best defensive outfielder in the state of California. In center, Nene Kyle. and one of the other best outfielders in the state of California in right. Fly ball, Nene just easily looks at it, says, hey, it's a Saturday afternoon, the sun is up, I'm feeling good, and catches it for out number 1. You have no problem with what I say about Carly, do you, in right field?
No.
Okay. Wouldn't matter, but I just thought I'd ask you.
Yeah, no, I agree. She's one of the best defensive players in the state. And I think if there was an all-defensive team in the OEC, she would have made it.
Ario Pachita comes up now. Takes a fastball just a little high. In at the corners for your Chargers. Galaviz sneaks down at third. Winya a couple steps in front of first. Fastball. Flames coming off the leather. Oh, they're not leather balls anymore, are they? Used to be. I'm dating myself saying that. At the knees.
And I think you and Albert said yesterday there's more velocity on Tucker's pitchers now that she's healthy.
Yeah, she's definitely pitching with a little more ferocity, a little more tenacity in the circle. She had a few strikeouts yesterday, which I would say is more than the average per game that she's pitched this year.
Into left, off the glove as Modis ranges deep into left field. I got to give that an error. Sorry, I have a shortstop going way too deep and got a glove on it.
That's a hit.
You're going to call it, I'm going to call it an error.
That's a hit.
And the official scorekeeper called it an error.
It's a hit.
It's an error.
It's an error.
It's a hit.
2-1, Corey Neyland is wrong. You at home can watch those replays and score with us. So we have an E6.
Here's the thing, I wasn't hit too deep into left field, and we've seen Modis make those plays fairly routinely all season, and she got a really good glove on it. She should have come up with that ball. It wasn't anything beyond the normal reach of her talent.
And we saw yesterday that they had trouble in that same exact position in that triangle area where they didn't come up with anything.
Fouled off. Out of play.
That was a little deeper, and Lopez didn't charge, Corey. We all know it.
Garcia.
That was a lack of communication yesterday.
So was that. Lopez, if she was playing deep, so if she was able to get in there quicker, she calls off Modis.
0-2. Over the top for the first strikeout for Tucker in this game. Big strikeout. Macy Smith comes up, and she is the straw that stirs the drink for this Bobcat team.
6 home runs, 36 RBI, 382, all lead the team. 47 hits, leads the team. 13 doubles, leads the team.
This is where your star player needs to shine to help your Bobcats get on the board first.
Yesterday she was 1 for 3 with a single. And she's got enough power to lift it down that left field line at 207.
That's what she was thinking on that swing. She said, Corey Neyland, I heard you. Tucker trying to work her way out of a defensive mistake. Nice dig by Tina Payne. Tina, an active catcher behind the plate. Flexibility is her middle name. Tucker brings it. At the knee, strike 3. So Tucker puts it in the right spot and gets out of the inning. No runs, no hits, 1 error, and 1 left on base. Well, jitters, anticipation, the heat, we won't know till we go to inning number 2. It's Cypress 0, the Bobcats 0, here on Sportsnet, USA.net. Albert Robles will keep us up to date on what's going around the rest of the conference.
Yeah, so a few games underway across the 3C2A mark in softball. Long Beach currently at El Camino. That game scoreless in the top of the second. Orange Coast College with a 2-run lead over Fullerton. They're currently in the bottom of the first. Fullerton, no runs on the board as of yet. Cerritos and Palomar tied at nothing in the top of the second. West Valley with a 3-run lead over Fresno City in the bottom of the first. Currently, Fresno City not yet on the board. Modesto 1-0 over Monterey Peninsula. They're in the bottom of the second. Scoreless between San Mateo and Hartnell. They're currently in the top of the third. And no other updates yet on Yuba and American River. That game was supposed to start at noon. There is a video link. I haven't looked at it yet.
So both teams, Cypress, and what Corey will tell you is probably the most attractive softball uniform here in California. I like the Bobcats.
I said they're the best uniforms in the country.
Okay. I like the Bobcats uniforms too.
I do like them, yes. I like the colors. You like the configuration of them. They're quality. They're one of the best we've seen.
Speaking of quality, the young woman who was the star of yesterday's game comes to start this inning off. Johansson, she did it all for your Chargers yesterday.
3 for 3, 2 RBI. Well, I'm going to give her 2 RBIs.
Yes, I agree
Because I'm
with
going to give her a happy triple.
Yeah, we both gave her a happy triple. We fudged the scorekeeping rules yesterday. Looks at ball 2. Here's one lady you don't want to put the floater down the middle of the plate to. She may not hit a home run, but she'll hit a double or a triple against you.
Actually, Mark, the way she's been stroking it, she'll hit a home run today if she leaves one out.
Off speed. Corey Neyland went, ooh, that's the one I would have gone after.
I doubt Johansson will get that pitch again.
2-1 count. Hitter's pitch. Fitzenruder brings it. Lombard, that's short. Easy throw, and you like what she did at shortstop, Corey. She made an error last time out there. She took her time, didn't rush, and gets the runner.
We got a
Winya at first base comes up.
we got a chance to talk to Fitzenruder's dad, Mark, and a lot of good conversation we had. And he had a couple things to say, and I'll let you do the honors on that.
This is her last year of softball. She's going to be going to ASU, communications major when she goes there. But fun years of playing softball with her dad and her family watching her. Base hit up the middle for Winya. And she had fun at Dana Hills. Didn't get to start immediately at Dana Hills, but had fun playing there. Got offered a full ride athletic scholarship. Didn't like where she had gone. She came back to the Bobcats and has found a family here. So she has had a beautiful career as a softball player. Her dad has enjoyed every second of it. Over to Smith. Smith gets Maldonado at first on the sacrifice. Brad Pickler playing that one run as Jazzy Lopez comes up.
Number 15, Jazzy Lopez.
And she has been that pitcher for Saddleback. That's one of the reasons they're here this year in the Super Regionals.
Yeah, and some people will get caught up in stats and 12 and 9. Well, how can you say she's the reason? But she,
First pitch, first strike.
in the circle, she has been it. She's been that calming influence. She's set the tone, especially early on in the season where they got off to such a good start.
Yeah, and then they staggered, and then they realized the entire pitching staff what they have to do. Macy Smith, who's over third, she is the other pitcher for this team. But look at what we saw. Albert, you and I saw her against AVC, and she dominated that Friday game.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't recall how many strikeouts she had in that game against AVC, but she did an excellent job on the circle, really pitched well in the zone, got the contact she wanted for ground balls. I don't think there was maybe more than 2 fly balls in the outfield that game, and it was a really good defensive game, and she really relied on her excellent infielders to help her in that game.
Yeah, I realized she was going against a team that had hit 40 dingers, home runs for the season. They didn't even get close against her. Fouled away with a bunt attempt. Jazzy Lopez started the season. We saw her doing one of the games here at Cypress, have a shaky day in left field, and since then, she's been perfect. Just above the letters. 1 and 2's the count. No runs, 2 hits, 1 error for Cypress. No runs, 1 hit, 1 error for the Bobcats. Off the plate.
And Lopez was 1 for 2 yesterday. Maybe that bottom of the order is finding its place now. Now they're in the super regionals and maybe heading to state.
Wind picking up a little here at Cypress. Out to left, deep, nice snag of the ball, Corey. That was poked. And I thought for a second Cardia wasn't going to track it down, but she does for out number 3. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. Well, this looks like a carbon copy of yesterday here on Sportsnet, USA.net. Albert, Corey, and the old guy. Happy to bring you this one. Big first game for a Saturday, and we'll keep our eye around the 3C2A to see who's doing what in softball and baseball.
And let's jump back into Haley Tucker real quick. And we were talking about the NFCA, National Fast Pitcher Coaches Association, All-American team in the South, in the SoCal, Southern region, I should say. And the first team pitchers were Lexi Ramirez from El Camino, Haley Harris from Long Beach, and Tatiana Cortez from Cerritos. Cortez, excellent season. Led the state in strikeouts, well over 200.
Thank you.
But here is where you're looking at stats, and that's all you're looking at. You're not looking at the pitcher of the year in a conference, who Tatiana Cortez was not. I thought that's how the all-star, all-American teams were conducted. Yet she leads the state in wins by at least 5, the closest to her.
Well, we'll get into it because I have a problem with one statement you made there here on SportsNetUSA.net.
Only 1?
Only 1.
There is no thing you can say.
Garcia up to bat for the Bobcats.
31 wins, 7 losses. And you're going to throw out that 2.57 earned run average?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
It's a statement you just made there. You said Conference Player of the Year, and at Cerritos, she didn't win that. Look who she pitched against as the other players that were Conference Pitchers of the Year in the SEC. Ramirez was number 1. You could have taken 2 from Long Beach. There was nobody else here in this conference as a pitcher that could have been Pitcher of the Year.
What's the toughest conference in the state?
The OEC.
Thank you. So who's Tucker pitching against? The toughest conference, the toughest players, the best teams, 4 made it to state. Ooh.
Long fly ball, deep to left field. That's foul. Made the fence, but foul. And I'm going to go with RPI, and you look at it. You look at what RPI was and who did those in the SEC play against. Hey, I tell you what, we got people there too. I can take the same logic you've got and use it for the pitcher that was put there.
Who was one in RPI?
The team she plays for.
So who? No.
She didn't pitch against her own team.
Who'd she play?
She plays for Cypress.
Cypress. They were 1 RPI or 2 RPI?
They were 1 RPI.
So they have the toughest schedule in the state. And she had the most wins. She was the pitcher of the year in the toughest conference.
Up the middle on a little scooter that gets a base hit.
Good piece of hitting by Garcia there.
Up to bat, number 18, CC
And
Garcia.
Albert, does it look like to you Saddleback is a little bit more relaxed than they were yesterday?
I would say so. I mean, to me, it makes a difference. I know the players are probably never say it, but I like to think it's true. Yesterday, they're playing in all black. Today, playing, I would say, in a little more lighter uniforms, playing in the burgundy pants, white top with pinstripes. Arguably far more comfortable to play in this current heat. But that's just my opinion.
What?
You feel good, you play good.
Am I in an alternative world of softball right now?
And see,
There's no logic to my right down there.
See, I like the black uniforms yesterday.
I'm
Better
not saying
than
it looks
these.
bad. I'm just saying it's got to be rough to be playing in that heat in all black.
Caradia swings through that one. Well, then that means that Cypress is going to have to change if they lose this first game in their dark blues. We'll invoke the Albert Robles rule.
And I say that currently wearing an all black polo. It's hot.
So a couple hits by both teams.
Would it be too early to say that Saddleback needs to score a run here?
I thought that in the first inning, Corey. I really did. I think they have to take control. You've seen it in all the years here with Cypress. When you let Cypress believe that no matter what, we're going to win the game. We don't care what you do. Brad Pickler has the voodoo to hoodoo you do to win the game.
If Saddleback wants to take game 2 and force a game 3, this would be the inning to do it. Because with the way Haley Tucker pitches, she does get stronger the deeper she goes into games, so you have to try to get to her early.
2-2's the count. Runner at first. No outs. Bottom of the second. Yeah, that's right. Saddleback's the home team. Shot in the hole. Quick throw and a nice play at short. Corey Neyland says, hey, look at the replay. But you've got to like what Modis does as she backhands it and flips to second.
Up to bat, number 8, Alexa Fitzenreiter.
Yeah, replay showing that the runner on the right side of the field absolutely made the right call. Right there on top of the bag. Runner is definitely out at second.
Fitzenreiter takes the ball. Corey Neyland will let you know who's wearing the blue shirts today on the field.
I'll give you behind home plate will be Mike Thomas.
1-1.
Down the first base line will be Hal Van Ryswijk. And on the left side, or actually not yet to the left side of the infield, standing behind second base, who was home plate umpire yesterday, Darren Decker.
Below the knees called for a strike on the outside part of the plate. Fitzenreiter looks over at the coach and says, hey, you hit it. 1-2's the count. Swings at that one for strike 3. 3 strikeouts for Tucker early in this game.
Sabrina Truesdale.
Truesdale playing first base. Yesterday hit a line drive shot that was foul. I tell you what, it was a level bat, and you could have strung a string out and just put the ball on it and slid it down the line.
She was 0 for 2 yesterday, but as soon as he hit that ball, she drew a walk.
Up the middle. Looking for someplace. That's a base hit. Maldonado got her hands to it, but couldn't make the turn as she was running away from first. So a couple hits.
To bat, number 22.
Now for the Bobcats.
And there was really no play that she could have made to Modis, who passed second base. There wasn't a flip opportunity.
Juarez had an interesting at-bat. She took 14 pitches yesterday against Tucker. Shot, Maldonado has it go off her arm. Let's see if they heard. Here comes the throw to the plate. They're in. Error on Maldonado at second, E4. Runners at the corner with 2 outs, and Saddleback is the first one to slide in with a run. The Bobcats, because of an error, take the lead. Tucker off the plate.
So 2 errors in 2 innings for Cypress. First inning, no harm done.
Warm day. Ground may be a little tighter when the ball hits the ground. Inside, low. Lombard just needs to keep it in fair territory, and the Bobcats could be up by 2.
Dangerous hitter. She batted second yesterday. Now she's batted leading off today. Had 1 double.
Pops it up. Maldonado said, this time I'll catch it. She does, but not before the Bobcats get on the board. 1 run on 2 hits, 1 error, and 2 left on base. As we head to top of 3, well, it's the Bobcats up 1-0 over your Cypress Chargers here on SportsNetUSA.net.
You want to continue the conversation about Haley Tucker? You want to move on down the list?
Let's move on down the list because I know there's a lot of people you want to talk about.
Yeah, and Haley Tucker's just one. And we're talking about the catcher, Morgan Nubler. We look at the all-Southern region team, and it's El Camino, Long Beach. Palomar had, again, 4 players.
I have a problem with that.
Mount San Jacinto had a player. You talk about conference recognition and conference strength in the Inland Empire. Might have been the weakest division in the Southern region. And Cerritos. Those are the only players from where, and they went position by position. I didn't go position by position when I couldn't sleep one night and did the list. But Nenea Kyle, she made outfield. Taylor Armstrong for Palomar. Yeah, she's deserving, but you could give it to somebody else.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah.
Because they had comparable numbers, but just because she went to Palomar, she gets there. And Trinity Barnes from Mount San Jacinto. Great season. Good numbers. However, just because of the conference, if that has something to do, if you're looking at RPI, she doesn't make it.
Nene Kyle steps up, and we'll see if she does what she does best. Drop a bunt and show her speed on the bases. Would you say Nene's got a little mini slump going?
No, she was 1 for 4 yesterday.
Okay. Everybody comes in. On the corner with a curveball. 0-2 count. Fitzenreuter feeling good. 0-2 to Kyle. Shot. Up the middle.
Hey, Albert. Nenea said, here's a slump for you.
Yeah. Shows the bunt, sees the pitch, just rips it up right out the middle. Fitzgerald almost able to get a glove on it. If she had, I mean, that would have been a fantastic out for Fitzgerald to make. But Cypress gets her leadoff hitter on board.
Modis comes up now. Singled her first time up, then was forced out at second. Bobcats concerned with speed at first.
And it'll be interesting if Brad decides to send her 42 steals on the season, but Cypress needs to score this inning since he got a leadoff.
If I'm a Bobcat fan, I don't want it to be, I'm so concerned with her, where a big inning happens. If for some reason she comes around and scores and we're tied, I can live with that. I prefer not, but I can live with that. Two and one's the count. Modis is waiting for that off-speed pitch that she can drive. Fitzenreuter brings it down the middle. Fly ball to center. Underneath it. Throw back to second, and they hold the runner. No tag on the play. Good defense by the Bobcats.
And excellent pitch by Fitzenreuter, because Michaela Modis got the pitch she wanted, was waiting for it, and just undercut it just a smidgen.
Parmenter comes up. Got on with a fielder's choice her first time.
Be interesting if she's first pitch swinging here.
See if Kyle goes. She does. Give the stolen base, because why throw it away? And we're going to get, and I'm surprised that they don't walk out to the ump. They are. They thought she took off early. You can't leave until the ball leaves the pitcher's hand. Do we have that on a replay, Albert? No? Okay.
And so far in this series, the first two games, both controversial calls go Cypress way.
And the whole bench rose up and said she left early.
43 steals for Kyle.
I saw a Fullerton player take 2 steps before the ball was thrown, and the first base umpire said no, she didn't leave early.
I'm not sure she was out early. If they're basing the same thing on just this last pitch, and when you watch Kyle, it was good timing on that one. Sorry, I didn't get that.
I'd love
Albert.
to see that one. I'd love to see that one.
I didn't think she left early, but I thought she was tagged out.
So did I. On top of the helmet.
Yeah, on top of the
And
helmet as a
then
slide.
after the play was completed, then she drops the ball.
It was an excellent play by Lombard.
Squeeze, and Brad Pickler scores a run. Well, if you're the Bobcats, you're feeling like, okay, doesn't matter for home team, we're not going to get the calls. And I agree with Corey Neyland. Corey, you and I saw the same thing.
She was out.
She was out. I thought she was out too. Did you have a replay, Albert?
I didn't have the replay, but the foot to the bag beat the tag up top.
No, she was out.
We're going
2-1.
We're going 2-1 on this one, because as they were both sliding, ball
Exactly.
came.
She tagged her immediately.
No. That thing is, she caught the ball. She didn't place a tag.
It was right there.
She caught the ball, and it actually came down
on
her
the
helmet
helmet.
right before Kyle slid into third base.
It was one of those snow cones on the head. Slide happened. Then the ball was dropped. I would have said the play was completed. But alas, we don't get to take votes and have it actually count. Brad Pickler drops the squeeze for me. And we're tied at 1. Galaviz comes up. She got on an air. Lombard tried to grab it and get rid of it too quickly when it was hit to her in the first inning. So we're tied at 1. On the corner, sweet little breaking ball. Looked like a cup of tea with a little honey just put in.
I'm going to say a little bit of home cooking, Mark.
You're saying that on the tag?
Last couple, this inning, a little bit.
A little bit on both? Okay.
A little bit.
Corey Neal is going to say, maybe you jumped a little too quick, and yeah, the tag was there.
I don't think she jumped too quick, but
Remember, Brad Pickler, that's Corey Neal. Oh, yeah. At the knee, strike 3. Fitzenreuter
Number 4, Tina.
says, I got to get one. She does at the right time. 1 run, 4 hits for the Chargers. 1 run, 3 hits for the Bobcats. We're tied at 1. Winds picking up here at Cypress College. Fouled away. 0-2. Well, runs were a commodity yesterday, and it was like the stock market. There weren't many winners. Right there to Lombard. She takes it for out number 3. 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 left on base. Well, we played 2.5. We're tied at 1. It's Cypress 1, the Bobcats 1. Here on SportsNetUSA.net. Albert, let's see if anybody else has got any runs in their games here on SportsNetUSA.net.
Well, absolutely. There have been some recent changes. Fullerton was ahead of Orange Coast just a moment ago, but OCC has retaken the lead. That score now 5-4 in favor of OCC in the bottom of the second. Long Beach leading El Camino 2-0 in the bottom of the third. Palomar holding a 1-run lead over Cerritos, currently not on the board. They're in the bottom of the third. West Valley doing West Valley things to Fresno City, currently 10-1 in the bottom of the second. West Valley looking to make really quick work of Fresno City. Modesto with a 1-run lead over Monterey Peninsula still. That game in the bottom of the fourth. In the top of the fifth, between Hartnell and San Mateo, that game is tied at 1. Yuba with a 3-run lead over American River, currently being shut out there in the bottom of the fourth.
so. And when you look at those other players on the all-region team in the NFCA, Morgan Nubler gets the catcher All-American nod from Mount Sac. Yet their record was similar to Moore Park's catcher, Kylie Kolkowski. But Kylie Kolkowski's numbers offensively, much, much better than Nubler. And the defensive stats weren't that different
Up to bat.
to, I'm not going to say warrant, but she could have been, and I'm going to say should have been, chosen there as the catcher. And you got no problem with Savannah Casagar, do you, from Elko?
No.
Got no problem with Brianna Lutz, right?
No. You mean the best in the state?
You have no problem with Cheyenne Navarro at
No.
short?
No.
Okay, and even the second base person at Palomar, it'd be interesting to see what position a couple of those other players in the not lower divisions, but other conferences did. But Josephine Huberger, quality second base person, so can't argue too much about that. But the Joan Joyce Utility and / Pitcher Award,
No.
we saw the player that should have won in Bay Magana and Ventura.
Yeah, exactly. Shot! Oh! Off-speed pitch. And Ariel Pachita says, you know what? Throw me that one again and I'll smack it in the left field.
Up to bat.
The
Number
bats are awake for your Bobcats.
And Mark, that award went to another Mount Sac player, Caden Conity. But again, Bama Gagne, better numbers all around, all conference, both offensively and pitching wise in the circle. But she doesn't get chosen.
Offer for a bunt, fouled away. Yeah, I was a little surprised at some of the people that were not given the nod.
Yeah, and the all-purpose non-pitcher, you could have taken Reggie Free from
Yeah.
Golden West.
Yeah,
Isabella Santiago from Golden West.
yeah.
Instead, another Palomar player.
But drop down to Galaviz. Over to first. Runner moves to second on the sacrifice. Small ball.
Up to bat, number 11, Macy Smith.
Takes us back in years. Instead of looking to hit those dingers, let's just wean them around the bases and score a run. Macy Smith comes up again. Corey Neyland again. The hitter that needs to get that hit comes up. Fouls it away. Struck out her first time up.
Tucker needs to be careful in this situation because Macy Smith is overdue. And you can feel it even in the first game, couple strong hits. Or a couple strong outs. That pitch has been given. That low pitch has been given as a strike to both pitchers today.
0-2. Call it the midget pitch.
Yeah, my cousin Terry used to pitch that.
Hit to the alley. Parmenter comes on over, and that's where we talked about her being one of the best defensive outfielders in the state of California. A shot, and she jumped on it.
Up to bat, number 6, Rui Garcia.
Brad Pickler walking like the old guy out there. Taking his time. Brad heard that, picks up the pace now a little. Says, wait a minute, I'm walking as slow as Mark.
And this is the thing where Brad plays those games. Saddleback appears, even with 2 outs, appears to be on a little bit of a run. A little bit of connectivity to Tucker's pitcher, and he calls a timeout to slow that down, maybe to aggravate the Bobcats a little bit, and then you come back after they're not so hyped up.
Well, you know, you aggravate a Bobcat, you take a dangly toy and dance it around the infield. Don't let them get it. Because, you know, Bobcats get upset if you actually let them catch something.
And Mark, and my biggest complaint about the team, Haley Tucker's not the pitcher. She's not the third pitcher. And that's just not right, simply not right.
So, Brad.
Home cooking, Mark. This is home cooking.
Did you see what happened?
Yeah.
So the base coach for the Bobcat walks by the circle, and Brad immediately looks at the umpire and says, I get more time. She's trying to hear what I'm talking about. Because the home plate umpire was saying, let's pick it up. And then Brad basically said, hey, you can't come down to the circle and listen to my conversation. And you can see them talking to each other right now as Brad goes back in. A little politicking going on out there. I thought the Bobcats were supposed to be home team. Inside and tight to Garcia.
Garcia, freshman out of Hawaii. And I heard something on another broadcast say Hawaii is one of those states that's now maybe the next state to produce magnificent softball players.
Off the plate, ball 2.
In abundance. They've always had quality softball players.
Oh, yeah.
They've always littered the teams around the continental United States, but now they're getting those players that are now being recognized as they should.
Off the plate again. And again, it looks like they don't want to pitch to Garcia at all.
2 home runs, 25 RBI coming into this game.
That was an odd appeal that they just made right now. Looks like, she was showing bunt, pulled it back in time, but they checked with the third base umpire to see whether or not she umpired. Or offered, I mean.
So just decided, hey, give me the walk is what they did. Cardia now comes up. It's on with a fielder's choice. Two on, 2 out. Bottom of 3. Fouled away. One run, 4 hits, 2 errors for the Chargers. 1 run, 4 hits, 1 error for the Bobcats. Here in the bottom of the 3rd. Popped up, Galaviz underneath it in fair territory for the 3rd out. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 2 left on base. We have played 3. It's the Bobcats 1, the Chargers 1, here on Sportsnet, USA.net. Albert Robles, Corey Neyland, and the old guy. Happy to bring you this softball game. And well, guys, we have seen it now. A little chicanery, a little of, hey, I'm going to do this, and I hope it bothers you. And if it bothers you, I'm glad I did it, because now you're not thinking softball. You're thinking that you're not getting any breaks on this softball field.
Yes.
Head to top of 4. Johansson, Winya, Maldonado are the 3 coming up. And Fitzenruder has pitched Corey again. She had a great game yesterday. Again, we sort of went, wow, saw her once. Now we're seeing her a second time. And still the baffling little pitches are coming to the Cypress hitters.
It always amazes when you watch a pitcher who's not overpowering in the circle with the speed, not overpowering with a specialty pitch that they may have, but someone who's consistent and has mastered her best pitch.
Yeah, exactly.
Up to bat, number 42, Amanda Johansson.
So Johansson comes up. Grounded out to Lombard over at short. We head to the top of the 4th, tied at 1. Cypress wins, we're done for the day. Bobcats win, we have another game here on Sportsnet, USA.net, and Chargers Live. Nice turnout now. Crowd got here late. Over to Smith, quick throw to first. 1 up, 1 down.
Up to bat, number 3, Madeline Vigno.
Winya, who had a single.
So we'll see if batters 6, 7, 8, 9 are taking turns and having big games this weekend.
We'll see if it happens here. Off speed, just with a little spin on the ball.
Again, it's that first pitch that she's getting in to get ahead of the batter.
0-1. Again, Smith lets it go through the wickets. Corey Neyland, I'm going to see what you're going to call that, because I know what I'm calling that.
Oh, E5.
E5.
Up to bat, number 10,
E5.
Through the wickets, and an error on the third base person for the Bobcats.
Now you got to make them pay. And for Saddleback, you got to make your free throws. That's a free throw right there. All you got to do is scoop it up and throw. You make the play. There's 2 outs.
So we're going to get a designated runner as Monique Rojas comes up.
Oh, I thought Albert had something to say.
No. Just agreeing that, yeah, it's Monique Rojas.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
were you looking for that confirmation? Yeah, because
Corey
that's who it is.
Corey pointed
And I'm just
down to you,
looking
and I
at
went, okay, all right, okay. Albert's going to. So Maldonado will come up. 1 out, runner at first. We'll see if Brad, who has played small ball today. Truesdale in from first. Smith from third. First pitch is low to Maldonado, who had to sacrifice her last time up here on SportsNetUSA.net and Chargers Live.
And with Jazzy on deck, do you bunt her over with 2 outs because she had a long fly ball to left field? You take your chances?
Yeah. For a strike. Now I might take it off. If they're going to stay on top, if Smith's going to walk in, I'm going to give her a shot to smoke one by Smith. Lombard deep. Snap throw. Oh.
That one wasn't close. She was safe.
So all the umpires are going to get together. The second base umpire, Corey, wouldn't have a view on that anyway, so it's home and first that had the best views for blue.
That one she was safe.
Yeah. Oh, I don't disagree with that. But if you're the Bobcats, Albert, you feel like you're getting, I can't get anything. No ice cream, no pound cake, no nothing.
If I'm the Bobcats, I'm appealing everything. I don't care. I would appeal everything that's close.
I mean, you're right, Corey. Like, you're already down 1-0 in a series. You have to do everything within your power to try and steal this game away to go to Game 3.
And you can see the quality Garcia is behind the plate, though, with that snap throw. She is going to be a special player. They'll just call her here right now. First team catcher next year if she's coming back.
She dropped her head when she didn't get the call. She thought she had the runner. Left field. So Maldonado gets that single. The official scorekeeper for Winya gave her a hit. When you look like a goalie in a Kings uniform playing against Edmonton and you can't stop the puck or the ball, that's an error.
They gave the hit to Winya?
They did, yes.
Ooh.
I didn't.
You know it's not a hit when I give it an error.
I tell you. Surprised Brad isn't dropping a bunt. There's the bunt. Runner at first. They get the runner.
So you drop the bunt with 1 out. Now there's 2 outs, but you have the top of the order coming up. And what did Kyle do the last time she was at bat? So you got to wonder just how many timeouts are involved and how many delay of games you can take as a coach, and if the umpires are going to let them move it forward or break that up. Because that's what happens when you have almost 1,600 wins. You get right up to that line, and if they're not going to say anything to you, well, you're going to continue pushing that line a little bit further back to help your cause.
Up to bat, number 7, Linnea Kyle.
So I'm going to bring the infield in. Even with 2 outs, Kyle can get that bunt down and beat it to first. I don't think there's anything wrong with squeezing with 2 here with the runner at third and her. And the interesting thing is, Corey, you've got a catcher that if that runner strays, we'll see if she has the fortitude to flip it down to third base. 0-1 off the plate.
And it's different than working with the top of the order rather than the bottom of the order, because at the top of the order, you can't just say, we'll hold the ball and let her get to first base because you got Modus coming up next.
Slap to right. Cardia gets it in foul territory. I tell you what, give it to the Bobcat defense. No runs on 1 hit, 1 error, and 1 left on base. As we head to the bottom of the 4th, we're tied at 1. It's Cypress 1. The Bobcats won here on Sportsnet, USA.net.
But what I love about Coach Pickler is the gamesmanship that he has as a coach, controlling the tempo. It's like, there's a lot of parallels to basketball. Controlling the tempo and that pace. When somebody you feel is on a run, let's slow the game down. Let's call a timeout. If you feel like your team needs to manage something, let's go ahead and politic a little bit.
Well, wait a minute.
That's what he's doing.
Let's politic. You know, my producer said, Mark, don't worry about the easy up. The sun's coming this way. You'll be in the shade. And then gets up and moves the whole thing down in his direction. So I'm still in the sun, and you guys are in more shade. What's going on here?
No, here's the thing.
You
can't
can
say
scooch over a
anything.
little more. Corey's hogging most of this table space over here.
You can't say anything because I said you take the shade, I'll take the sun.
Yeah, and we've already seen how many plays have we missed here today with you sitting there in the shade?
Let me put it this way: you would have caught the same amount of plays as I have on the just by doing nothing.
Okay, there we go. That made me feel better.
So
Well, you look at this game.
I just have to make sure that the equipment's not going to overheat, you know?
This is for both of you.
Number 8.
It really is. Bobcats should be feeling good, or are the
No,
Bobcats
no.
sitting where they were yesterday, Albert?
I think they should, not necessarily feeling good, but at least feeling better. I mean, they've already out-hit their performance from yesterday's game. And despite the fact that Cypress already has 6 hits on the game, they still held them to only 1 run. So Saddleback is not out of this game by any means.
I agree with that. But you're feeling better.
Okay. All right. We head to the bottom of the 4th. Fitzenruder drives in a single. Important at bat for that young woman.
Up to bat, number 15.
This is her last, unless they win, collegiate softball game. She's been outstanding since she was a young woman, a little girl, and having Father Mark take her to so many of her games. Popped up. Galaviz makes the play. Truesdale cannot handle the bunt.
Number 22, Jenna Juarez.
And that's huge.
Yeah, because you gain nothing.
Again, the perfect opportunity. Fitzenruder was 0 for 3 yesterday. 0 for 3 yesterday, 0 for 1 starting out today. Didn't look good on her strikeout earlier. She comes up with a solid base hit. You've got a little momentum, and you've got to capitalize on that momentum and get that runner to second base with 1 out.
Juarez comes up. She was on an air. Fouls it off down the right field line.
Good pitch by Tucker. Lopez in left, Kyle in center, Parmenter in right. And Saddleback, they've had better at-bats and cuts this game than they did yesterday.
Yeah. She's going to drop it in. Cena. Oh, Maldonado ranges. I thought that had enough to get there. And the defense is picking it up for your Chargers.
And really impressive range there displayed by Maldonado to go out there to get that ball. Because if she doesn't react as quickly as she does on that play, you'll have 2 runners on base.
So Lombard comes up, fouls it off. Lombard hasn't found that hit category. Conversation, getting a couple balls from the Cypress dugout. We're moving right along in this game. Tied at 1. 11 hits, 3 errors so far in this game, but we're moving. Down low. Lopez, Kyle, Parmenter in the outfield, Galaviz, Modis, Maldonado, Winya, the infield, Tucker in the circle, battery mate, Tina Payne. Hit to Nene, she goes back, skips and catches it at the same time. Multifaceted center fielder. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. We are over halfway done, and we're tied at 1 here on Chargers Live at Sportsnet, USA.net. Look around the rest of the 3C2A and see who's pulling away and who's just sitting there in neutral.
So as of now, Long Beach was ahead of El Camino. El Camino has surged ahead just a smidge. They now lead the Vikings 3-2 in the top of the 4th. Fullerton has retaken the lead over OCC, 6-5. That score in the bottom of the 3rd. Palomar with a 1-run lead over Cerritos. They're in the top of the 5th. 11-2 in favor of West Valley over Fresno City. That game in the bottom of the 3rd. Modesto with a 4-run lead. That game 5-1 in the bottom of the 5th. San Mateo now leads Hartnell 3-1 in the top of the 6th. And Yuba Valley still shutting out American River. That score 4-0 in the bottom of the 5th.
Wonder if the wind's blowing out at OCC.
I was just about to say that score surprises me a little bit. Not the fact that OCC has 5, but Fullerton has 4. It seems like they're getting a little bit more out of
They
it.
had 6.
They had 6.
Oh, Fullerton has 6. I'm sorry. That Fullerton has 6. Yeah, they're getting that whole batting order to get some hits.
Here, let me do some numbers for you.
No, don't even do that. Don't even do that. Come on now. Because we're not going to make that into a competition. Let's see who's.
No, it's a short porch because we've done games at OCC, and if the wind's blowing like it is down there, Veronica Moore might be having a field day right now.
And we certainly know that it can, Mark. We saw a few long balls get hit in that game that we did between OCC and Saddleback.
Saw them down there, too, when we watched OCC and Golden West College.
I watched you guys on that one.
Modis takes that at the knees, 1-1. Tied at 1. As we hit into the last 3 innings of game number 2. On the edge for a strike. If Saddleback wins, we play an additional game. If Cypress wins, we are done after this game here on Chargers Live and Sportsnet, USA.net. Off the plate, trying to get Modis to chase. 2-2's the count. Parmenter on deck. To right field in the gap. Go and get the ball. And exactly that's what Jenna Juarez does. She reached out that glove, and I thought for a second it's going to be bounded towards the fence.
And looking at the replay, it came very close, but Juarez fully outstretched with her left hand. And the next thing you know, ball into glove, and they got the first out.
Parmenter on with a fielder's choice and a single today. Takes that for a strike. Wind could play havoc with outfielders. So far, not yet here at Cypress Field. Ooh, flinch by the home plate umpire. Everybody from Saddleback went, oh, wait a minute, that's 2? Not yet. Mitzenruder laughs at that, comes out of her hand. That was like a slow pitch in softball. She found it humorous. I'm sure her dad, Mark, thought it was funny too. Hit to right field. Juarez says, I've got this one too. 2 up, 2 down for the Chargers here in the 5th. Galaviz got on with an error her first time up, struck out in the 3rd. Well, the first game was competitive, so was this one against both these teams.
You and Ed Ford were talking about this game all week about it is going to be a competitive ball game. Both of you had this series going 3.
3, yeah. But I will tell you, Ed thought that the Bobcats were going to win the first game.
Got their chances.
They did. Yeah, they did. I think Ed was right on yesterday. Just a little low.
And it's interesting that Fullerton and Orange Coast game. For Fullerton, it's that top of the order that is doing the damage. Well, Morales, Morrison, and Moore, they're really carrying that team.
Nubber drops into left field. So one of those little ones that Lombard tried to get out there, struggled to get close, couldn't, and it drops for a single.
To bat, number 4, Tina Payne.
So Galaviz, 1 hit yesterday, 1 hit today. Tina Payne. Strong at bat her first time, flew out to center field, popped up to short in her second attempt. But with 2 outs, could you, and here's what we like about Brad Pickler with 2 outs, he might just throw down a bunt.
Oh yeah, for a base hit, if you're playing deep, he's going to take advantage of your defense. Nice little short hop play by Lombard. The line drive dive, she puts her glove down, flips it over to first for the out. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. Well, we're heading to the bottom of the 5th, and we're tied at 1. It's the Bobcats 1, the Chargers 1, here on Chargers Live and Sportsnet, USA.net.
Some team and some coach is going to love Mackenzie Lombard at the next level. I think she's a player that you're going to want to have on your team that's going to be better at the next level that she is at this level.
Yeah, you know what? Albert and I saw this team play. We saw them against AFC. Albert can tell you they played fantastic defense then. Albert, they played good defense yesterday, except for when you look up at the board and they had the 1 error, which was really should be 2. They have played excellent softball again this day. They can play defensive ball.
And Lombard is really showing, just how good this Saddleback defense is, especially on that last play, because that was really kind of a tough little short, low liner. plays it off a short bounce, goes directly into the glove, doesn't assume that she doesn't trap. It still makes the throw to first to record the out. Just great presence, great awareness, and a fantastic arm over there at short.
Yeah.
And this is like the third or fourth time you've seen this team play. You have to be impressed with the coaching staff and what Coach Fisher has done at Saddleback.
Absolutely.
You're limited.
Yeah.
You got 10 players. I mean, you know, guys, it's not like I can look at you two and say, okay, Albert's not hitting today. Corey, go take his place. No, Corey and Albert are playing. I got nobody to replace you. So we head to the bottom of the fifth, tied at 1. Ariel Pachita comes up. Singled her last time up. Corey, surprised this isn't a young woman that drops the ball or slaps it more often.
You know, from looking at her play, not sure she's that type of player, Mark.
Okay, all right.
This is a solid team. This is a team that you wish you could see more of throughout the season, because you don't see anybody that's going to be that slap type of hitter. You see players, you see softball players. Like when we watch Cypress, we see softball players. When we see Saddleback, we see softball players. Some teams that we've seen throughout the years, they have a softball team. Doesn't mean they actually have softball players.
Yeah, okay.
Somehow that made sense.
Okay, I'm glad. Because sometimes my world is fascinating.
You just scared Albert saying that. Oh, I've been sucked in.
It's like, oh my God, Corey Neyland's making sense.
1 out of 100, I'm batting good.
Albert, you want to be concerned when Corey said, you've got your equipment set up wrong, and you go, oh, you're right. Then you're concerned.
I will never say that to anyone else but Mark.
Yeah, that's true.
Because at least you know, Mark will be like, wait, do I? He'll second guess.
But my second guess is just as good as my first guess, so I'm okay. 3-1. Tucker wanted to keep the first person up off base. Inside. Oh, the snap look by the hitter.
Again, that's that low pitch that's been getting called for both pitchers. You've seen that high pitch above the waist. It can be iffy, but that low pitch has been there the first 5 innings.
Looked a little inside on the replay.
Shot down the line. Foul. I'm losing papers all over the place.
Better papers than your mind, Mark.
Well, that I lost a long time ago. So
I was just trying to give you benefit of the doubt, but all right.
Well, you know, hey, I'm honest. It's one thing about us old people. We honest. Three and 2. Fouled away. 1 run, 7 hits, 2 errors for Cypress. 1 run, 5 hits, 1 error for the Saddleback Bobcats in an exciting Super Regional Game 2 here at Cypress College.
Foul tip into the glove.
So that's a strikeout
To bat, number 7.
for Tucker. Now it gives her 4 in the game.
I've got her with 1 walk as well.
Yes. She issued that in the 3rd inning.
And again, you don't see her throw that rise pitch all that often, but that was a definite rise where it even started out of the strike zone and kept going to the top of the head. And I think that's the first time I've seen her this season to throw that with some velocity.
Yeah, and again, it goes back to where she told us she was hurt earlier in the year. She feels healthy now. So she feels better pitching. She's more confident when she gets in the circle. Corey and I got in a whole discussion about her last night. And, of course, I used the term a while back. She's a grinder. And Corey says, yeah, it's a good description of her, a grinder as a pitcher. Fly ball to Parmenter. Looks up in the air and just waits for it to come down on the right line into her glove for out number 2. And Corey, I know there's people out there that would say a grinder. Well, I don't find that offensive term for a pitcher. I'd love to have a grinder or a bulldog in the circle for me all the time.
Yeah, you mentioned Lexi Ramirez over at El Camino is a bulldog.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of different, but Haley is that grinder that even when you think you're out of a game, you're never out of a game.
Yeah, like Corey's talked about, the amount of wins that she's got, the grinder just keeps going out there and pitching. Win, lose, or draw, I guess I'm in the circle.
And that's why she should be an All-American. First team in FCA.
Corey Neyland's got her in there, and if Corey's got her in there, then that's where she belongs. Parmenter goes back, settles underneath it for out number 3. No runs, no hits, no errors in a fast 5th inning. We're tied at 1. It's Cypress 1, Saddleback 1. Here on Chargers Live and Sportsnet USA.net. Albert Robles, everybody's getting to the end of that first game. Let's quickly go through it to see who's playing game 2 or who is not.
Yes, let's take a look at
West
those
Valley
scores.
is not going to play game 2. San Mateo is not going to play game 2 today.
That's pretty much the way it's going to look. So West Valley still leading Fresno City 11-2, that score in the top of the 5th. So last licks there for Fresno City. Orange Coast still trailing Fullerton, that score 6-5 in the bottom of the 4th. Long Beach trailing El Camino, that score 3-2. They're currently in the top of the 5th. Palomar has increased their lead over Cerritos, that score 3-0 in favor of Palomar, that game in the bottom of the 5th. Modesto leads Monterey Peninsula 5-1. They're in the bottom of the 6th. San Mateo 4-1 over Hartnell, that game in the top of the 7th. And Yuba leads American River still in a shutout 4-0 in the top of the 7th.
So it looks like Elko is going to get their 2 over Long Beach City.
Well, it's only 3-2. What inning?
They're on the top of the 5th, 3-2 in favor of El Camino.
I'm going to stick with my dark horse team.
They're not a dark horse. I gave you the dark horse, but they're not a dark horse.
You know what? If Ed Ford was here, he'd say Corey Neyland. Yes, they are.
Long Beach is the same team as El Camino, and you don't consider them a dark horse. They're the same team.
Oh, man. Yeah, but if you'd have picked them.
They're not a dark horse.
You know. And then you end up looking at Palomar. They're going to move on. The only team that looks like, the only group that looks like they may play 3, maybe this game and Fullerton right now.
And Long Beach and El Camino. How's a one-run game maybe going 2 and another one-run game ain't going 2?
Because I said so. So you need the word of Mark.
The word of Mark and Ed, we're talking about ballparks earlier this week.
Don't start that.
No, I'm serious, because you were talking about, we showed the pictures of American River.
Oh, yeah.
Nice field, and it's something that is good. You mentioned the Fresno City. Fresno City has a new park as well.
Well, Ed was telling me, too, that somebody else is getting ready to do what American River did. Can't remember what college he told me. Another Northern California college.
Okay.
That is going to upgrade. Fullerton is supposed to upgrade. We'll see if that happens. We're supposed to have a new ballpark here at Cypress. Ed and I figured that's a conversation that's now 3 years old. Into the gap. Once again, taken, and the defense is playing so well for both these teams. It's one of those games you just don't want to see anybody lose.
Yeah. And I think that's either Yuba or Taft that's getting a new bar.
I think it's Yuba.
Okay. Yuba's got the player of the year up there, the all-around player of the year, Danny Ferris.
Winya comes up. It's been on a couple times. One time with a single, one time with an air.
So a dark horse mark would have been, I would say Modesto would have been more of a dark horse.
But I had Modesto in Northern California.
I know you did.
But Ed even said to me, see, this is where Ed disagreed, because Ed said, Modesto's better than you guys are making them out to be.
They are. But I consider them a dark horse because up north for years, there's only been 2 teams. So anybody but those 2 teams.
Shot to the hole. Gone down. Lombard's going to try as she makes a diving stop. Bounce throw to first. Beautiful defense. Just a better placement of the ball on the hit.
And that's why she's going to make somebody at the next level so happy, because she made a play of that. When you thought she had a base hit, so was cruising down the line, not hustling down the line. It made it closer than anticipated. But yeah, Modesto's good, but because West Valley and San Mateo has been the teams up there, you don't really consider anybody else. So if you're a 3rd seed, 4th seed, I'll consider you a dark horse up there.
Maldonado comes up. Had a singler last time up. We'll see if Brad starts the runner on the corner for a strike. A little surprised. Thought Brad may start Winya over at first. I still think she's going. Sacrifice moves the runner 2 down.
Up to bat, number 15, Jazzy Lopez.
Jazzy Lopez now comes up. Jazzy, fly out to left, and then sacrificed her last time up.
She's a lot like Macy Smith for Saddleback in terms that she's due.
Yeah, she is. And when you can mortar over at second. So, I mean, if this is a base hit, I don't see Brad stopping the runner. I see Brad making the move. Brad gets another timeout in this game.
How fast do you think Jazzy is?
I think Jazzy's really fast. Yeah.
So if first and third are playing even at the bags?
Yeah, you know what? If she hits it, I'm going to put it right here. If she hits another one that Lombard has to go back and backhand, she's going to get a base hit. Lombard's only play on that is going to be going to third base. And I don't think she'll get Winya at third base.
So would you drop one?
I would. Yeah, I would. Yeah. I would drop a bunt. I would look at Winya, drop a bunt right now, and look at Winya and let her turn. And I'm going to drop the bunt at third. I'm going to make Smith come and get the ball. If Smith doesn't even look at me, I'm not stopping at third. I'm heading home. Offers.
And here's where Saddleback was good that she didn't take that bunt, because if she had laid it down, that's a base hit. No one's covering first.
On the outside. 1-2.
Good pitch.
Fitzenreuter, for what might be her last game, is pitching a heck of a softball game today for your Bobcats. Off the plate. Show me pitch. Go get it if you want it. 2-2 is the count. 2-2 pitch. Right at Lombard, who just reaches up and says, mine. And it is for out number 3. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. We now head to bottom of the 6th. It's Cypress 1. The Bobcats won here on Sportsnet, USA.net, and Chargers Live. Well, if you love great softball, and I'm going to say it for Mr. Neyland, there is nothing better than community college softball. These student athletes are the next big thing at D1. Yeah, we know a lot of D1 coaches don't take community college players. Shame on them.
I don't even care if they're D1.
Shame on them.
Shame on them for D1. But at the NAIA level, the D2 level, some of the D3 level, but it's littered with players that we've seen over the years from community college, and that's the way you build programs.
And you should come out and watch these games. These are multi-talented young student athletes. Corey Neyland, tell you what, they're all fun to be around. Albert, you and I have been around for years. Parents, you ought to be proud of your women that play on both these softball teams. There's no doubt about it. They are the nicest young women we get to meet on any level, and they are bright, articulate, and they are dreamers about tomorrow. Congratulations to all the parents that have been there in their lives, to friends and family that have supported their game, and thank you for giving back to us, because I know you and I, we come out here and we just love watching softball, and they give us the best.
It's therapy.
Garcia.
We head to bottom of 6, tied at 1. Garcia will lead it off. Garcia catching today for the Bobcats. Corey Neyland likes this young woman as a catcher. You see her getting picked up on the next level?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And, of course, we all know how much I like Tina Payne behind the plate. So 2 quality community college catchers. Shot. And Garcia said, Mr. Neyland, I almost felt like she was saying, Corey, not only can I play defense, but I can hit the ball.
Up to bat, number 8.
And for Garcia, that's her 43rd hit. Sorry, 44th hit this season.
Solid single. Cardia, we'll see if she drops the bunt. In at the corners, shows bunt, drops the bunt, fouls it away.
She's from Beckman High School in Irvine. Quiet left fielder.
Good left field.
Yes.
Yeah, it's one of those people, as we got a player tying her shoe, one of those people that plays defense that you don't really say much about her.
No, you never know they're there.
Yeah, exactly. Don't make any mistakes. Plays the game the way you should play it. See if the Bobcats decide to drop that bunt they tried the first time around. Offer. Bunt drop. Throw over to first for the sacrifice. Runner slips going back. Go ahead run now at second.
Up to bat, number 8, Alexa Fitzenreiter.
So if you're scoring at home, that was 2-4.
And Fitzenreiter says, you know what? All I need is one more hit like I had last time. Waggles the bat. Takes it for a strike. You know you're feeling good when you start waggling. I don't waggle my bat. I look like a hitter.
Communications major. Had a no-hitter actually last year as a freshman.
Off the plate, 1-1. Her dad, Mark, stopped by, told us some stories about all the fun times he has had watching her grow up in the game of softball and how talented she has been. She's once again shown that today. Down low. Disciplined.
Exactly, and for people to ask, why you do sports, why you call softball games and all these games, sometimes it's not the game. Sometimes it's going to the Waffle House at 2 o'clock in the morning talking with parents. Sometimes it's just randomly speaking with parents or relatives about the game.
Down the middle for a strike.
About life. That gets you more joy than pretty much
Oh,
anything.
yeah. And nothing's better. Yesterday I had a couple of alumni come by and say hi to me, Corey, from years past here at Cypress. And you think, you know what? It's nice that they appreciated what we did when we were here. Fouled it back. Go ahead, run at second. 1 out, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Game number 2, tied at 1. Strike 3. Corey Neyland said, Mark, you could say that because that pitch has been called all day long.
Up to bat, number
And if he wouldn't have called that one, I'd have been real upset.
Strikeout number 5 for Tucker.
Truesdale, who popped into an out when she tried to drop it out. But now all she needs to do is turn and get that solid line drive for your Bobcats. Pops it straight back. Singled in the second. Popped out to Galaviz at third. In the fourth. Strike. Right down the middle. 0-2 to the Bobcats. Tucker looks in the dugout, shakes her head yes. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Down in the dirt, blocked by Tina Payne. That's why you gotta like Tina behind the plate. This kid gives everything in these games. Down in the dirt. 2-2.
Got to be careful with Truesdale. Only 13 hits in the season. But again, she had a hit earlier today.
Yeah.
And it was a solid hit.
If she can go to right center, there's a chance. Fouled away. Parmenter playing straight away right. Danae Kyle cheats over towards left center. That's what makes her comfortable. Would have asked Brad about it. Huge gap in right center field. Pulled foul. Nice at bat for Truesdale.
Again, the 1987 state champs for Saddleback. The first time they're in the playoffs since 2014. No, I'm sorry, first time in the playoffs in 10 years. First time in the second round since 2014. What?
I'm just listening to you. Albert's just staring at you. Solid. And that's why you've got somebody that's short that can handle the ball as Modus gets her for the third out. No runs on one hit, no errors. We're going to the seventh. Yeah, could be the final inning for either one of these teams in this game. It's Cypress 1. The Bobcats won. Here on Chargers Live, SportsNetUSA.net. Corey Neyland, Albert Robles, Ed Ford, and the old guy. Happy to bring you 3C, two-way, Super Regionals on SportsNetUSA.net.
And we do have some scoring updates across the 3C2A, looking at all the softball scores here as we're in day 2 of the SoCal Super Regionals. Tie game between Long Beach and El Camino. That game now 3-3 in the top of the 6. Fullerton holding on to their lead over Orange Coast. That game still 6-5 in the bottom of the 6. Palomar still shutting out Cerritos 3-0 in the 6th inning. West Valley 13-2 over Fresno City. That's in the top of the 6th, but that should be game over. I don't know why it says top of the 6th. That is game. Modesto with a 7-run lead over Monterey Peninsula. That game 8-1 in the bottom of the 7th, and that really should be game final as well. San Mateo 4-2 over Hartnell in the bottom of the 7th. Final between Yuba and American River, 4-0. Yuba Valley victorious in their shutout over American River.
So that's a 3-game series. They've got one more today. Tried watching the Yuba American River game last night. Got through a couple innings.
Well, if you ever want to win a game and you're Brad Pickler, you'll look at me and say, let's go to the top of the batting order, because that's where my solid hitters are at.
So what you're saying, it's money time, Mark?
It's money. It's money, baby. Kyle flew out to center, singled in the 3rd, flew out to left, 1 for 3. Off the plate.
And you see where they're pitching her off of the plate, outside part of the plate. Everything is played towards left field.
Yeah, they don't want her to pull it. 1-1. Tries to bunt. Wanted to drop it towards Smith.
It's good she didn't, because she was out of the batter's box. Well.
Yeah, she was well out of the batter's box. Would have been interesting to see if they'd have gotten that call. Up the middle. Didn't want to do too much with it. Off speed pitch, and she just said, thank you, I'll just take it back up the middle.
I'm going to say that's a better pitch than hit, because the hit was up the middle. That's where it was pitched to the left side. If she misses slightly on the inside, brings that in, that's a double, probably a triple.
I'm going to say better hit, because she didn't try to do much with it. All she has to do is get on base. She'll steal second. Modis comes up for a hit. She's trying to get that hit now. 1 run, 9 hits for Cypress. Off speed. Garcia looks over at the dugout, trying to get the calls. Outfield straight away. Garcia comes up. Smith at 3rd, Lombard at short, Garcia at 2nd, Truesdale at 1st. Garcia behind the plate. That's the infield with Fitzenreuter in the circle. Fouled away. Caradia in left. Rio Pachita in center. And Jenny Juarez over in right. That is the defense here in the decisive 7th inning. The 7th inning of game number 2 for the 3C 2A Super Regionals. Cypress wins. We're done for the day. Fly ball deep to center. Underneath it. Kyle not tagging. So a deep fly ball.
Not
Corey
enough to
Neyland,
tag.
almost say wasted.
No, not enough to tag. And a good job of pitching. Again, you're trying to bunt that and sacrifice that over. What pitch did you get in that at-bat that you can safely bunt that over? You didn't get one. Everything was low and away and reaching. You go after that one, it's a pop-up.
Parmenter, 1 for 3 is up now. Takes a strike down the middle.
And, of course, popped up anyway, just to the deeper part of the ball field. And earlier, remember, the Saddleback crowd and coaching staff wanted Kyle for leaving early on the first stolen base attempt. So maybe that plays into the minds a little.
Off the plate. Fitzenreuter yesterday pitched a beautiful game. This game is just as solid. So a stolen base.
And into the outfield, an error. Second and third, Garcia and Lombard weren't there at the second base bag. And you have to wonder, is there miscommunication on why no one was there?
Yeah, I was a little surprised too. She came up, gunned it to an empty bag, and Lombard had to go down to try and knock the ball down. And it's one of those things too. Albert, you've seen it before defensively when it's a shortstop and second baseman. Somebody's got to know if the runner's going, who's got that bag. And it looked like neither one of them knew the bag was mine if she's going to steal.
Yeah, and like with a right-handed batter up on deck, usually it should be the second baseman getting that ball and not the shortstop, and usually flips with a left-handed hitter. So like usually that information should already be pre-established. There really shouldn't be any miscommunication during the play. Should already know what the deal is.
So 1 ball, 2 strikes. If you try to squeeze and foul it off, it's a strikeout. Corey Neyland says you're not going to try and squeeze because infield is in. They on top of us.
I would try to squeeze it, but Parmenter's one away for her 8th triple.
Oh, money. She's...
Let's take a look at the replay. Yeah, runner got under the tag in time. Heck of a play.
They asked again if she left early. Two to one. Cypress. So the air allows Cypress to get the runner on third. So the run is now an earned run in the game.
Explain that, Mark.
It would have been an unearned run because the run scored. If that ball was caught, it would have been a second out. But you can be under the assumption as an official scorekeeper because there is a single, which is a base hit, that runner would have scored on that single. So therefore, it's an earned run against Fitzenreuter.
Okay. Whatever you say.
That's why I asked her to
That's
explain
that's
that.
why it is.
Is it
That's
really?
how-
Yeah.
Yes, that's exactly how it would be scored, no matter the level of the game.
Because if she gets out, if Galaviz gets out, end of the inning, she scores on that
Yeah.
I have to look that up.
base hit.
Because the error that was caused wasn't dealing with an out or not. It allowed the runner to move. There's the difference in the dig on that. If that error that would have been classified as a possible out, not an advancement at the base, then it's a different ruling. Albert Robles trying to find it on the phone.
If I disagreed, I'd question it too.
If I disagreed, I'd explain to you why the rule states this.
While there's dual stasis? What'd you say?
I said if I disagreed, I'd say why the rule states that. Fly ball to left. Route number 3. But Cypress does what Cypress does. As Cypress gets 1 run on 2 hits, 1 error, and 1 left on base. As we head to the bottom of 7, well, if you're a Bobcat fan, you better be looking at it now. Get out the kitty litter, get out the extra food, get out the additional water, because that's what cats love. And what they need is a lot of love, because they need a run here in the bottom of the 7th here at the 3C 2A Super Regionals on Chargers Live and SportsNetUSA.net.
And they got the top of the order coming up to try to prolong their season. An outstanding season they've had, 25-14. Number 7 in the RPI, and they finished under 500 in the OEC at 7-11. As you know, Cypress, 33-9. They finished tied for the OEC Conference Championship, 15-3 in their 18 games. And they were what number were they in RPI, Mark?
Who, Cypress?
Yeah, Cypress 2 in RPI.
Yeah.
And if they win, we were talking about this yesterday, they will go up against Modesto once they take out Monterey Peninsula. And Ed Ford, correct me if I'm wrong, Monterey Peninsula upset West Valley last year.
I don't remember on that one.
Okay. I want to say that, but you know what, I'll just say it. Correct me later.
So Juarez, we're at the bottom of the order. We'll start it off, then we go to the top of the order.
I'm going to say the top of the order with the number 9 hitter.
They need 1 to tie, 2 to win. If Cypress holds on, they move to the state. And Brad Pickler gets ready for Title 11. Haley Tucker says, this ball feels light as air. Excuse me, check swing.
Dobry hara. I'm sorry. Dobry hara.
Is Gabby sending me notes?
You said check swing.
Oh, okay.
I say good play.
Knuckler. Can you get the run? Hustle down, base hit. Hustle play by Juarez to start the 7th.
She came out of Vimperk, Czech Republic for that check swing to get that base hit.
You confused me for a second. I was going to say Juarez is a Czech name. Corey, I think that's the fastest she's run all season.
Maldonado slightly bobbled that ball a little bit, but it was already knuckling away from her. So did you still kind of score that a hit?
That's a hit.
That's a hit, yeah. It was a single. 17 hits in this game, only 2 runs.
3.
3 runs. High fly ball. Modus settles underneath it. Out number 1.
Lombard was simply a little too amped up for that at bat.
Blowing away for a ball.
And it's interesting with the mix-up, not changing of the lineup, where Ario Gapita led off yesterday. Lombard batted second. Now, had it been reversed, would you have thought about bunting and then waiting for Lombard to come up and make a play with 2 outs?
Yeah. High and away. 2-0. Can't stray too far from first base. Big crowd here at Cypress. A lot of blue around us. Wind blowing out. Down and away, 3-0. You'll take the freebie if you can get it. So you taking 2 in a row?
No. Okay, they've been aggressive. If it's coming down right down the heart of the plate, I'm swinging away, even though you're going to take the next 2.
Okay. For a strike.
Good pitch by Haley Tucker. Inside part of the plate, not a chance to get her arms extended.
Strike 2, right in the edge. I like Tucker threw that, Corey, and she cradled herself. She went, oh, no, not that pitch. Why'd I throw that pitch?
Because you're taking 2 in a row.
Haley just went, oh, I gave you a fat one and you didn't swing. What's wrong with you? 3-2. Pulled foul. It would have been a routine fly ball to left. Oh, we're going to get, so is that an illegal pitch? That's what the discussion would be. No.
I think it was that Tina Payne was hit in the helmet on the backswing. Just kind of giving her that little bit of a timeout.
Mark just looking for controversy.
Three and 2, 1 out, down by 1. Bottom of 7. Shot, down the line, foul. Would have been interesting if that goes fair, because then you would have looked at Juarez and said, how fast can you run?
How good is Haley's changeup?
It's good. I'm like you. I'm going to, you know what? She's going to throw the inside pitch with a changeup. And she'll get the call strike 3. That's where she threw it.
Wasn't a change, though. She's gotten the timing down. And you keep it on the inside because the way she's extending that barrel, anything over the middle of the plate and extended to the outside is a base hit.
Outfield deep for the Chargers.
Wow.
Ball 4.
Let's take a look at the replay on that call. It looked as if it was the same pitch that Haley Tucker has been getting all game. A little more inside, but probably just a hair low below the zone, but questionable call.
Garcia comes up now. Tying run at second. 1 out. Base hit should get her home. Popped up. Going after the first one, and it was an infield fly rule anyway. Runners on first and second with 1 out. Infield fly rule called. Batters automatically out. Talk about overamped.
Yeah, but I honestly like that first pitch swinging. I like it because you knew Haley was going to have to come with the first pitch strike. She didn't want to get behind.
Macy Smith.
Is due.
We've talked about that.
First team all conference, the best hitter on the team.
Down, ball 1.
And you wouldn't have it any other way. The pitcher of the year against an all-conference performer in Macy Smith.
Game on the line. Two run, 10 hits, 2 errors for Cypress, 1 run. 7 hits, 2 errors for the Bobcats. Timeout. Tina Payne goes for a walk.
So what's Kirsten Fisher talking about? Kirsten Fisher talking about over there at
Drive
third
it.
base.
Drive it. Got to drive the ball. We watched Juarez run to first. She not the speed demon.
And here's where that short lineup, the short
Oh, hurts
roster,
them
you don't have a person just say, hey, go out there and run fast.
Two and one. The hitter's pitch on a 2-1 count. 2-1, 2 outs, down by 1. You need a single to stay alive. Fouled away. 2-2, and now you have to be protective, not projective when you look at it. Got to protect the plate.
I'm going to disagree with you on that one. Just because it might be our last disagreement of the season, I think you go after.
Fouled away.
And I think it's the same thing. Protective and projective right now, it is the exact same thing. And I like your earlier statement that you have to drive the ball. A lot to think about at the plate for Macy Smith.
Yeah, exactly. Fouled away. Staying alive.
That one actually made it back our way for once. We'd gone all season without getting hit.
I blame the umpire.
Almost took out George.
He's got quick hands. He's a defensive person over here. He looked out for the old guy.
He's got
Not
a
like
number.
2 to my right.
He's got an umbrella. We've got an easy up.
I got nothing.
Mark's got a hat.
Fouled away. Two run, 10 hits, 2 errors for Cypress. 1 run, 7 hits, 2 errors for the Bobcats. If Cypress wins this game, they head to the state championships here in California. If the Bobcats can score, they continue this year in softball. Knuckler, that's it. Cypress goes to the state championships again for Brad Pickler. Two runs, 10 hits, 2 errors for the Chargers. 1 run, 7 hits, 2 errors for the Bobcats. To the Bobcats, a magnificent season. Corey Neyland, Fitzenreuter once again pitched 2 great games against Cypress and didn't get the luck in either one of them. And Brad Pickler's team just does what Brad Pickler's team does. Gets to the state titles. Albert Robles, one more time before we go away. Who's wearing what as we get ready to say goodbye for the last time this season at Cypress College?
Let's indeed. So in the bottom of the 7th, Long Beach and El Camino still tied 3-3. Fullerton still holding on to their lead, 6-5 over Orange Coast. That game in the top of the 7th. Palomar now leading Cerritos 6-0. They're in the top of the 7th, so last licks up for Cerritos. Final score, West Valley over Fresno City. That score 13-12 final. Modesto final score over Monterey Peninsula 8-1. 4-2 final between San Mateo and Hartnell. San Mateo taking that game. And of course, final score between Yuba and American River. Yuba 4, American River 0.
So we want to thank everybody here at Cypress College for once again making us feel so much at home here. To Brad Pickler and his entire staff, congratulations to all the wonderful women at Cypress College through the years. Thank you for being so kind to Ed, Albert, Corey, and myself. To the parents, hey, we wouldn't do it if you didn't want to listen, and that's why we're here. To Saddleback College, congratulations on a great softball season. You're beginning the program again. You've got a great head start. To everybody in the 3C, 2A, to the OEC, the SCC, everybody that's going to be at the state championship, have a ball, because we'll be watching for Ed, Albert, and the old guy. You've been watching Cypress College softball as the Chargers beat the Bobcats 2-1 on Sportsnet, USA.net, and Chargers Live.